Well, you're still watching Prime Morning. I'm Razak Musbao. We just heard from Kweku Asante on fellow Ghanaians with a very strong call on the military to at least be measured in their reactions to public, as far as the engagement, reactions to public provocation, etc., even sometimes unprovoked, just be measured in how they treat the public. We know that the military are they are a group that you don't joke with, but in engaging the civilians, clearly you want some better measured engagement so that we don't see the kinds of episodes that we had in the case of Carlos Kaloni, for instance. All right, but we're still here with News Flash, and it's the newspaper review segment, and also an opportunity for us to get into some other issues that clearly have, caught the attention of many Ghanaians. One of them, obviously, is the proposed transport fare hikes. But before we get into that conversation, let's bring you up to speed on what's been captured in the various newspapers. And what I have here is the News Center. And it says, MOBA celebrate Chachu Chikata Golden Jubilee at the bar. There's a big celebration that's set to be done for him with a series of lectures at the Accra International Conference Center. And also it says, don't abandon Accra Kumasi Road project. Asenso Boache has written a letter to the president calling him to not abandon that project. The future of event has a new address, and it is the Accra City Hotel. Then also says, tap, send, smile. With just a few clicks. That's MTN Momo turns complex banking into simple moments of financial ease. Then Coca backs NPP reforms, predicts party comeback in 2028. That's the News Center. And then you go to the Chronicle, and it has the picture of Ghana's Thomas Partey, because it says Thomas Partey in the Lion's Den gets bail after being charged with rape and sexual assault. Big news, and he's also, been signed by Villarreal in the midst of all of this, so quite pressing issue. This is the Chronicle. And also the Chronicle says, Ghana to become digital trade hub of Africa, NITA declares, and also minority reject new producer price of cocoa. Then government signs MOU with Fori Link to develop platform for agri financing. So that's the Chronicle newspaper, what it's reporting today. And the publisher also has Asenso Boache's letter to the president and says Asenso Boache slams Accra Kumasi Expressway plan. Stories on page 3. And then also you've got, I'm not involved in Galamsey. Abanga fires back. That's the third vice chairman of the NDC firing back following the move by the Minister of Lands to investigate him for some allegations that he's engaged in Galamsey. Then new cocoa price insult to farmers. That's what minorities saying to government. Then transport fares go up 20% from Friday. And that's going to be one of the issues that we'll be looking at. Then Lumba's 1 week to be held on August 30. And the family says they're going to hold a 1 week of Lumba here in Accra. Then the Ghanaian Times also has on its front page, Alhaji Salifu Abdul Rahman appointed the Ghanaian Times editor. They have a new leader. Then also Trade Minister inaugurates IMC to revive Commander Shuka factory. This factory continuously in the news. Then the big one here is let's redesign health system. That President John Mahama would call to African leaders, the Africa Health Sovereignty Summit. And also, the Custodian newspaper has the minorities press conference on the cocoa price captured there. Says 128.75 Ghana cedis cocoa price increase is unquote Sakawa. We'll get to talk about that on the show today. And also minority slams NDC for deceiving farmers. They say Coca decries NDC government animosity towards Ashanti region, and BOG injects over $2 billion to stabilize the city. That's according to Kojo Opon Nkrumah member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, and also ShopRite to exit Ghana. And that was one of the news, I think much later in the day, yesterday, we, heard ShopRite planning to exit Ghana, and quite very surprising news, especially considering the state of our economy at the moment. Surprising that they are choosing to exit. But Mahama's new Accra-Kumasi Expressway is ill-advised, as Asonaba call also captured in the Custodian newspaper. Then, just before I go to the last two newspapers, this is 24-hour newspaper. I'm not making this up. It's here, 24-hour newspaper. I'm not sure when it came into being, but it has on its front page, pressure mounts on Natoshi and Alex Inkum, over 4.4 million Ghana cedis spent, yet no DCE bungalow in sight. So we'll see. Over 2,000 youths registered for NEIP Content Creators Initiative as application closes. Wow. Over 2,000 youths registered for NEIP Content Creators Initiative. Wow. As application closes, that's interesting. I have this, wow, Content Creators Initiative. Interesting. Then also transport operators reject proposed fare hike, urge public to disregard August 8 increment. Then young executive school holds 10th graduation. Efforts underway to address port delays and reduce cost of doing business in Ghana. And a few more others also on the 24-hour newspaper. Then our last but one is the Accra Times. And on the front page, blame NPP for Boko crisis. Really? It says, but John Mahama will solve it once and for all. Mahama Ayariga. I'm not sure where he said this, but it will be interesting for you to get the newspaper and see what exactly that means. I'm not sure where the majority leader said this. Not too sure. He might raise concerns with this because he doesn't want to politicize the issue at all. Then Afenyo Markin is unhappy with the reconstitution of ECOWAS Parliament delegation. It says, then in commemoration of Pan-African Women's Day, Senator fight for women at grassroots and Akufo-Addo's role legacy unmatched. That Asonaba is still making the case, and Amefi Central MP hailed women in vegetable farming grateful. So that's the Accra Times. And of course, the big one, state newspaper, Daily Graphic, the front page is high lending rates era over. This is big news, big news for the businessmen. Governor to financial institutions, and government inaugurates IMC to revive Komenda Sugar Factory. 100 million Ghana cedis released to student loan trusts. Historic nukes are the ones saying that, and 6 schools reach graphic business TBSC semis, and government inaugurates IMC to revive Komenda Sugar Factory. Very also profound on the newspaper. So largely that's what's been trending on the newspapers, but this move by the Bank of Ghana governor as far as the policy rate is concerned is very instructive, and hopefully we'll get more into that in our subsequent bulletin. So those are the issues that have been captured in the major newspapers today, and we'll try and get into some of them, particularly the transport fare hike and the cocoa prices. But first of all, though, so let's start with the transport fare hike, because this is where it started from. The Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council released a statement announcing an increment, a 20% increment in the lorry fares. All right, and the excerpts of that statement are on your screen, and they indicate that that very increment is going to take place on Friday, 8th of August. So this is the essence of the statement, and this is what has generated some public debate. Ghanaians are not happy about it, and some of their groups, transport groups, are also not happy about it. So you see excerpts of it there. It says, in line with the administrative arrangement on public transport fares, the road transport operators have increased public transport fares by 20% to accommodate. So they give their reasons why they are increasing the fares. They say, 1, for the non-corresponding reduction in spare parts, goods and services after the reduction of transport fares by 15% on the 21st of May 2025. That was one of their reasons. Then continues, says 2, to accommodate for the increase in operational cost after the introduction of 1 cedi per litre levy, i.e. about 8% increase in fuel cost. The second reason. The third reason, to accommodate for the increase in maintenance cost as a result of the deplorable roads across the country. This very reason almost always features when they are increasing fares. So they say the new fares take effect from Friday, August 8, 2025. The fares cover the following types of roads, transport operations: shared taxis, intra-city, which is trotro, intercity, which is long distance, and haulage. All right? So fundamentally, that's what they say, and they sign off by saying they request all commercial transport operators companies to comply with the new fares and post same at their loading terminals. And they say they further request all operators, commuters, and the general public to cooperate for the successful implementation of the new fares. And they end with for and on behalf of road transport. All right, so that was the statement. And this has received some backlash because the biggest transport union, which is GPRT, you say, they know nothing about this and therefore do not support it, okay? And I understand Emmanuel, who is, who is part of the union, is on phone, and we will get back to him because we've lost him on phone. But in studio here also is Asonaba Nana Wiredu, who is acting chairman, Commercial Transport Operators, all right? And the commercial transport operators have said, and the caption of their statement is, disregard transport fare increment. This is the confusion in town, and the Ghanaian public are wondering who should we listen to. Now, one of the group who said we should disregard that 20% increment, their acting chairman is in studio with me, and just essence of their statement says that they urge Ghanaians to disregard the proposed transport fare increment slated for August by the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. They say there has been no official announcement from relevant authorities, and we are yet to agree on any fare. And they say commuters should continue to pay existing fares until further notice and report any unauthorized fare increase to the authorities. So, good morning, and thank you very much for coming.
Morning, Razak.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Great. So Emmanuel has joined us now, right? Emmanuel is back on now, and I understand Emmanuel is a member of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, right?
He's the General Secretary.
He's the General Secretary. So before I come to you, because you disagree with them, before I come to you, let me go to Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, thank you very much for joining us on phone. We've just seen your statement, but clearly the reaction from your counterpart bodies is that you did not consult them. You listed the reasons why you want to increase the fares, but you are not getting the support. You've given an 8th August, starting date. Are you sticking by that date? Has anything changed?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you all viewers. I'm surprised they are not in support. I joined policy support the other apart.
Mr. Emmanuel, please, your line is shaking a bit. If you can just position yourself well so we can hear you.
I think that it's okay. Maybe let me try.
All right. Please do that for us. Please.
Like you said, I don't expect to get support from any sister unions apart from my because the judge with that over 30 members. So if it is that was not
we're still struggling to hear you clearly. We're really still struggling to hear you. So if you can help us just reposition yourself, you can just move from where you are. And
hello, can you hear me now?
Much better. Please proceed.
Okay. What I was saying is that I don't expect anybody to, agree with me or something. Maybe the unions, other unions, except my constituency, because the GR is made up of about 35 unions across the country and some corporate bodies. So whatever decision we take is taken within the confines of our space, and also consideration we put on the table before we come out with any decision. So if the GPI2 doesn't agree with me, fine. If we have a way of talking our issues out. So if they want to do that, maybe they can come or have a roundtable discussion for them to understand what our position. But for now, I don't expect that they come and clap for me that I will be there. No.
Well, but we know, but Stephen, but we know that before these fares are increased, at least there is some consultation that is done with government, and at least an agreement is reached on an acceptable rates. Did you engage government? And if you did, what was the response from government?
Well, unfortunately, this time the government couldn't make an input because of our inability to assess the Prime Minister. We tried meeting him, letting our case known to him, but somehow we get attention. And on our neck, we had to go ahead do what we see the best interest for our people.
You said you tried meeting the minister, but you couldn't. Can you give us the efforts, share with us the efforts you made to meet him? Did you?
Which will show you in what sense?
I mean, did you write a letter to him? Did he visit his office and he denied you access? What
we have a way of meeting the ministry when we want to do that, and that's the same way we did.
So what did you do?
We made an effort to see him.
So was there a letter you wrote to him? Did they acknowledge the letter? I mean, what exactly did you do? Because we get an indication that...
Gentlemen, you know what? We run a system in the same has been running for years. We normally, when you are talking to me, you didn't write a letter, but we agree to talk. And so it's not as if writing a letter blowing so it's so we did what, but let's leave it.
But if government reaches out to you to at least engage you on this matter, are you open to an engagement and a possible, reconsideration of the rates that you are looking to increase the fares?
Well, we've made our case. We've put out our demands there. Our concerns there. We put our concerns. So if they can have a way, deal with the country, fine. We are not. It's not hard. Right? We can build post parties, but I did want everyone so that we're doing stuff with an opportunity that's why we.
And just finally, you talk about the concerns you raised. One of the concerns was the state of our roads. And in the mid-year budget, the finance minister clearly indicated that there's going to be a massive, huge investment in the road sector with a big push. In excess of 13 billion Ghana cedis is going to be invested to develop our roads. Government has made that commitment. Then in terms of the spare parts and the cost of it, we've seen the cedi, appreciate significantly against the dollar. And the spare part dealers have also, given an indication that they are going to reduce their prices. And we understand some have even reduced their prices. I mean, taking all of this into consideration, do you not think that maybe you should reconsider your attempt to increase the fares to a later date and possibly, engage government, and then you can then take another decision on it?
Well, give me an indication in the budget. You are going to build the road. Doesn't mean the road has been built. We are talking about a present. What are in all house? So I'm in it to ask. Well, a good idea, but we don't ask guys to debate on the cost, the spare parts, the good that we are talking about. We made our reduction in 21st day and up to date. Is it now that they are considering reducing their prices? That cannot be enough excuse to warrant our withdrawal or something like this matter.
But can you give us an indication of where your members are located? Which parts of the country or stations are they located so that, the public do not go. You know,
What is that question supposed to mean?
No, as in, so which stations should we expect an increment at? Because there are certain.
I'm telling you, it's a national council. We have members across the country. So wherever you go and you have members there and they confront with these issues, that is it. But I'm not here to list the number of stations and whatever for you.
All right, Mr. Emmanuel, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time on Prime On.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. That's Mr. Emmanuel. He's the General Secretary of the Transport Coordinating Council, who have increased the lorry fares by 20%, which has been rejected by GPRTU and also Concerned Commercial Drivers Union. And their acting chairman is there, Mr. Asonaba. You heard him. How do you react to this?
Razak, let me take this opportunity to greet your cherished viewers, and then the National Vice Chairman of the GPRTU, also the was the Greater Accra Chairman, Dr. Imaneni Okantankra. I'm shocked to the core, and I didn't even expect this coming from the National Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Mr. Oheneyabwa, because this has not been the criteria for increasing transport fares. He has been in the business for only God knows, and he knows very well that we don't increase transport fares on this basis. There has always been a 4 component that we normally come across before increasing transport fares, and that has to do with fuel, spare parts, inflation, and then stationery and items. So I'm surprised that a man is.
They're citing the one city, they're citing the state of the roads.
I'm very surprised.
They're talking about the cost of spare parts.
Razak, do you know something? Like he said, just last month, 21st May, we were all in the same meeting for the fare to decrease the fare. And then he didn't raise these issues.
At the meeting?
At the meeting.
To reduce the fares?
To reduce the fares. These are not the issues.
That was in May.
He raised. Do you understand? So I'm even surprised that he's coming out with this statement.
Between May and now, he claims these concerns have
it is not true.
Raised by his members.
You see, let me set the record straight. You see, transport operators are being allowed to increase transport fares within a certain threshold. That is 10% increment in fuel. You can then go and then negotiate or send a proposal to the sector minister for something to be done on the transport fares. And in this instance, fuel prices has been reduced to almost 18.3%. So the government has been candid with the transport operators.
So what's your point of departure? Is it the specific rate or the increment in whole?
We haven't gotten there yet. I mean, Mr. Yeboah is doing the right thing at the wrong time.
Wait, so you are for an increment, yet not 20%?
No, not like that. Every transport operators will be happy whenever transport fares are being increased, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the beneficiary. But you have to be candid to Ghanaians. Do you understand? The law is that, or the agreement is that, whatever fuel prices elapse to 10%, we should send a proposal to the minister, have a judge, or like what I said, the criteria that I stated. Just go to the market, make your effort, and then send it to the minister. You sit down with him, and then have a judge, or what do you call it? Wahini Abua per se, he knew everything detail. So I'm surprised. Whenever such things like this happen, they normally patch with the GPRTU and then go into the market so that the prices, they will finalize all the prices and then send it to the minister. Do you understand? For a better percentage to be used. So in this instance, the GPRT wasn't consulted. The commercial transport operators, we weren't consulted. And then you come out with a 20% increment. That is why we are saying Ghanaians should disregard. This is not coming from the relevant authorities, and we don't know where it is coming from.
Well, now, let me ask you, he makes the claim that his members have been pushing for an increase, particularly because of the one city levy. What have your members been saying?
So you asked a question, he wasn't able to answer. You asked him that, where are your stations and where are your members? And you see, he was running away from that particular questions. But I can say on authority that yesterday we met with some regional executives of the GPRTU, and they are not ready for the fair increment. Do you understand? As we are speaking right now, I wouldn't be surprised if a statement will come from their outfit to disband the 20% increment.
Well, we spoke to them on our platform yesterday, and they indicated that they know nothing about it and do not support the move.
So we have been taken by surprise. Oyinbo happens to be my uncle. I mean, it should stop.
Because you see, the problem here is that what the Ghanaian public have difficulty with is knowing which transport operator belongs to which group. Of course, in the case of GPRT, we see cars and their stickers GPRT embossed. Now, if we go to town, because he's saying that he's told the members to go and increase the fares. So the Ghanaian public go to town, pick a trotro or a taxi, and they say, I belong to this specific group, and our specific group, we are increasing it by 20%. Then we have conflict. So how then can we contain this and avoid the chaos, the impending chaos?
Mr. Razak,
because you know there are some members, there might be some members in your group who might even capitalize on this and engage in a very chaotic, what do you call it, engagement with commuters and say we've increased it by 20%. And you know that can happen. So how can we resolve this?
Mr. Razak, that is why we are saying this. Take this one for me. There's not going to be an increment of transport for the 8. And we are going to try all effort to make sure that their decision is being squashed.
Tell us about some of the effort, because it's very important.
The GPRTU is the mother transport union in this country. Covered about almost 80 to 90% of transporters. And they are saying that they don't have any idea of the set increment in transport fares. Some of us will make sure that we will continue to educate and sensitize the general public to be aware. Whenever you take a car and it is being charged overly, just report to the appropriate quarters. Ghana is a law country, law-abiding country. We are not living in a banana republic.
Have you been in touch with the minister since this came out? Has your group been in touch with the minister to help you in this effort?
Yes, this is what we did yesterday. Just after we heard the news, we called the GPRTU. They disregarded it, and then we called the minister that we are surprised that how come a whole transport union, there will be an increment in transport fare that we are unaware. This is what the minister said. The minister said he hasn't had any meeting with anyone. He's even surprised. Do you understand?
So fundamentally, the Ghanaian public should disregard the 20% increment.
That is what I'm telling you, that take it from me. There's not going to be an increment on transport fares on the 8th of February, on the 8th of August. Ghana should take it from the mother body and then the commercial transport operators. As an acting chairman, they should disregard any attempt or any attempt by individuals to increase transport fares.
Great. That's Asonaba Nana Wiredu. He's acting chairman of Commercial Transport Operators, and he joined us on his studio here on that very matter. He says, disregard it. Don't pay 20%. If any total driver, taxi driver says we've increased it by 20%, don't do it, all right?